Damn! Like, not damn. Like, you literally have to say damn to get the whole spelling, okay? Hey guys, it's Mikayla and welcome to another bar prep video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over some mnemonic devices that you can use for the bar exam. Some of these are a bit more common, so you might have heard of them already. Some of them I learned from my school or my bar prep program, and some of these I made up myself because I couldn't find one that worked for me. So regardless, there's definitely going to be some mnemonics in this video that you have not heard of, so make sure you watch it all the way through. This video is going to be divided by bar prep subject, and I'm going to have all of the subjects timestamped, so be sure to check the description box if you're interested in that. And lastly, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. I am coming out with new videos every single week and sometimes twice a week. And just a little disclaimer, the law is constantly changing. The purpose of a mnemonic device is not to encompass a subject's entire information. They're really just to help you remember some key points and help you recall enough information to do well on the bar exam. So again, I'm not responsible for any law that has changed or if this is not every single little point that your bar prep program taught you. Again, we're hitting the key stuff here, the big stuff you need to know. So with that, let's get into the mnemonics. I don't know about you guys, but those mnemonic devices where it's a very long sentence and the first letter of each word of the sentence is a thing, those don't help me because not only do I have to remember what the letters stand for, I have to remember the sentence. So most of these mnemonics are going to be a single word, maybe two if necessary, because I think that's a lot easier to remember. The first subject we're going to be hitting is constitutional law. We are specifically going to be talking about the requirements to get into federal court, and for this subtopic, the mnemonic is scram. This is actually one of the mnemonics I created when I was studying for the bar. So for scram, S is for standing, C is for case or controversy, R is for ripe, the case must be ripe, A is abstain, the federal court will abstain if it's an undecided issue of state law, and the M is moot, the case cannot be moot. So scram, standing, case or controversy, ripe, abstain, and moot. I like scram because I think it's pretty easy to remember. Think about it like this. The federal court does not want you there. They want you to scram. Scram. The second subject we're going to be touching on is real property. And for this, we're specifically going to be hitting the elements of adverse possession. So for adverse possession, I actually have two mnemonic devices for you so you can choose the one that suits you better. The first one is very, very basic. You're talking bare minimum here. And that mnemonic is echo. E is for exclusive, C is for continuous, H is for hostile, and O is for open. That is echo. Now the second one is a little more vulgar, a little more out there, but again, it might help you remember a little bit easier. And it's actually a sentence. It is a hooker on every corner. Yes, you heard that right. A hooker on every corner. A is for actual, H is for hostile. The O and the N and on are for open and notorious. E is for exclusive. And again, C is for continuous. So echo, a hooker on every corner, a hoe on every corner, if you will. You know, we don't discriminate here. Choose the one that fits you best and stick with that one. All right, so the third topic is criminal law. We actually have two subtopics for this one. So the first subtopic is felony murder, and this one's pretty straightforward. It's bark. Bark with two R's. So we have B for burglary, A for arson, R for second R for robbery, and K for kidnapping, bark. And the second subtopic is for specific intent crimes, not general intent, specific intent crimes. And we actually have two for this one again. Now the first one is the bare minimum. If you really just can't remember all of them, remember this. The first one is fiat, that's F-I-A-T. F is for first degree murder. I is for inchoate crimes, all of the inchoate crimes that encompasses. A is for assault, and T is for theft crimes. Again, that's the bare minimum. If you can't remember all of them, at least remember those four things, and you can definitely get some points. Now, if you're trying to remember all of them listed out, it's definitely a challenge, but I have a mnemonic for that as well. And that is baffle scarf. Honestly, remembering this shouldn't be too hard just because it's very strange. Baffle scarf. Baffle scarf. So starting with the word baffle, that's B-A-F-F-L-E. We have B for burglary, A for attempt. The first F is for forgery. The second F is for false pretenses. L is for larceny, and E is for embezzlement, baffle. And then for scarf, it's spelled like the normal word scarf, S-C-A-R-F. For S, we have solicitation. C is conspiracy. A is assault. R is robbery. And F is first degree murder. For specific intent crimes, fiat, and baffle scarf, everyone. The next subject we're going to get into is contracts. And again, we have two subtopics for this one. The first one is the statute of frauds. This is probably the one you've heard of, but maybe you haven't. And that one is my legs. My legs. I don't know who made this one up. I don't really understand it, but it wasn't too hard to remember. So M is for marriage. Y is for less than a year. Y, year. L is for land. E is for executor. G is for guarantor, also known as surety. And S is for the sale of goods over $500. My legs. And the second subtopic are defenses to the enforceability of contracts. This is another one that I created for myself because I couldn't find anything and I needed something to remember it. Now this one is a little unconventional. I will say that. It is damn, like not damn, like you literally have to say damn to get the whole spelling, okay? So make sure you're saying it like that in your head. Again, it's not the it's not the best, but it worked for me and I actually remembered everything. So hopefully you will too. So that's damn, D-A-I-U-U-M-M-M-M-N. So for the defenses to enforceability of contracts, we have D, duress, A, age, I, incompetency. Our first U is unconscionable. Our second U is undue influence. And then our first M is unilateral mistake. The second M is mutual mistake. The third M is intentional misrepresentation. The fourth M is negligent misrepresentation. And the N is for non-compete clauses. So the M's are a little strange, but again, this was the best I could come up with. It's a lot of stuff to remember. So mistake, misrepresentation, and then you just have to remember what's in front of it. So defenses to enforceability, damn, okay? You guys got it, I promise. The next subject we're going to get into is torts, and we again have two subtopics for this one. The first subtopic is defamation. And the very simple thing that most people know is to remember libel versus slander. Slander is spoken, S slander, S spoken, slander spoken. And then that leaves libel as written defamation. So libel versus slander, that's pretty basic. Now, as for the actual elements of defamation, the mnemonic for this is dope. D is for a defamatory statement. O is of or concerning the plaintiff. P is publication. The statement must have been publicized. And E is there must have been economic or dignitary harm. Economic or dignitary harm. I would say defamation isn't really dope, but some people might disagree. So however you choose to remember that, dope is defamation. And they also both begin with a D, so that's pretty cool too. And the second subtopic for torts is intentional torts. Again, I did not come up with this one, but it kind of works and it's pretty easy to remember. So for intentional torts, it's ABC fit. ABC fit. You can spell fit with one T or two. I'm gonna spell it with two here just so you can kind of see it written out, but you'll see why you have that option later. So for the intentional torts, we have A, assault, B, battery, C, conversion, F, false imprisonment, I, intentional infliction of emotional distress, T, trespass to land, and our second T, trespass to chattel. So the reason you can combine it into just ABCFIT is that the T can mean trespass, period. You can just remember it as trespass, and then hopefully you can remember that you can trespass someone's land and trespass someone's chattel. So ABC fit. Moving on to our sixth topic of the day, evidence. We again have two for this one, and the first one is character evidence. Now, I don't personally love this one because it doesn't really, in my opinion, encompass everything I'd like to remember, but it's a very popular mnemonic and it might help you remember at least enough to get points. So for character evidence, the mnemonic is mimic, and mimic identifies relevant purposes for admitting character evidence. So for mimic, M is for motive, I is for identity, M is for mistake, really absence of mistake, but just remember mistake. I is for intent, and C is for common plan or scheme. So that is a character evidence mnemonic for you. The second character evidence mnemonic is for the Daubert standard, and this is one I actually think is really helpful. So for the Daubert standard, we have trap, T-R-A-P, trap. T is for testing of the principles or methods. R is for the reliability or the rate of error. A is for the acceptance in whatever field it's in. And P is for peer-reviewed or publication. Now you can go into a lot more detail. There is a fifth element that kind of, in my opinion, is encompassed in these four, but I think if you remember these four, you should be solid. Now our last and final topic of the day is UCC Article 3, or negotiable instruments in the Uniform Commercial Code. And again, we have two subtopics. The first one are the requirements of a negotiable instrument. I'm pretty confident this is one I made up. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I made this up, so forgive me. But the literal only thing I could think of was DUFOS, D-U-U-F-O-S. And again, not the best, but it helped me remember. So we have DUFOS. D is for definite time. Our first U is for unconditional promise. Our second U is no additional undertaking, so U, undertaking. F is a fixed amount of money. O is it's payable to order, O, order, or bearer. And S is it is signed by the maker or drawer. DUFOS, that's the best I got for you guys. UCC Article 3 is a pain, so you're welcome. And the second one for UCC Article 3 is for real defenses, not personal defenses, real defenses. I remember when I learned about this mnemonic, I was very confused because it was odd, but it's truly really the only way you can remember. It's a lot of information. So it's fades times 2, F-A-I-D-S squared, if you will, because it's F-F-A-A-I-I-D-D-S-S, fades times 2. So F, forgery, F, fraud in the factum, A, alteration, A, adjudicated incompetent, I, illegality, I, infancy, D, duress, D, discharged through bankruptcy, S, suretyship, and S, statute of limitations. Fades times 2, if you will. That one is definitely just as obscure as the subject of UCC Article 3 itself, and a lot of these are, but guys, mnemonic devices are always better than just trying to remember all of the information flat out, in my opinion. If you can think of a mnemonic or learn a mnemonic for it, it's definitely not going to hurt you. And that is actually all of the mnemonics I have for this video. So if there were any mnemonics in this video that you've never heard before, you learned and you think you're gonna use, let me know in the comments. If there's any mnemonic devices I missed, let me know in the comments. Help each other out. Let's make it a mnemonic device party down there, if you will. Thank you guys so much for watching. Keep going, keep studying, keep fighting, stay strong, and I will see you guys next week. Goodbye and good luck.